Have you ever looked at someone and thought, why can't they just get their life together? Maybe they made a mistake, or they're going through something difficult, and you can't help but judge them. It's easy to do, but here's the thing. The Bible warns us about judging others. In Matthew 7:1-2 it says, "Do not judge, or you too will be judged." Simple, right? But why is it so important to avoid judgment? Judging others might feel satisfying in the moment, like we're somehow in control or smarter. But the truth is, it only creates negativity. The Bible teaches us that when we judge, we're essentially setting ourselves up to experience the same things we criticize in others. It's the principle of what you reap, you sow. What you put out into the world comes back to you, sometimes in ways you never expected. Think about it like this. If you plant seeds of negativity, bitterness, and judgment, that's what will grow. It's like being in a garden where the weeds you create will eventually choke out the good things you want to see. On the other hand, when you choose kindness, understanding, and compassion, you're planting seeds of positivity, and they'll come back to you when you need them most. This is where the idea of karma fits in. Karma is simply the law of cause and effect. What goes around comes around. In the same way, the Bible teaches us that when we judge others harshly, we're inviting judgment into our own lives. It might not come in the exact same form, but it'll show up when we least expect it, teaching us the importance of grace, humility, and understanding. So before we judge someone else, let's pause and think about what we're planting in the world. Instead of criticizing, let's focus on lifting others up. Because in the end, what we give out is what we'll get back. And the Bible makes it clear. God wants us to give kindness, not judgment. In the very beginning, in the book of Genesis, God created everything: light, earth, animals, and people. He made us in His image, which means we were designed to reflect His goodness, love, and grace. God's plan was simple: for us to live in harmony with each other, the world, and most importantly, with Him. He created us with purpose and with the potential to live in peace and unity. But somewhere along the way, things went wrong. When Adam and Eve ate the forbidden fruit, they didn't just break a rule. They turned away from God's plan. That one choice opened the door to judgment, fear, pain, and separation from God. The fall of man, as it's called, introduced the idea of sin into the world. And with sin came judgment. Adam and Eve started blaming each other, hiding from God, and feeling guilt they never knew before. This is where we see judgment begin. And it's something that's been passed down through generations. But here's the good news. God didn't give up on us. Even though we messed up, God had a plan for redemption. From the very beginning, He made a way for us to return to the life He originally intended for us, a life filled with love, understanding, and grace. This plan wasn't about being perfect. It was about seeking Him, learning to live by His principles, and forgiving each other. Through the life and teachings of Jesus, God showed us how to break free from judgment, hate, and division. God's vision for us has never changed. He wants us to live in peace, to love one another, and to reflect His image in everything we do. The mistakes we make don't define us. God's grace and love give us the chance to start over, to choose kindness over judgment, and to live in the way He always intended for us, together, in harmony. When we choose to follow this vision, we start to understand that judgment isn't part of His plan for us. Instead, compassion, forgiveness, and understanding are what bring us closer to the life He envisioned. Now that we understand how judging others can hurt us, and how God created us with a plan for peace and love. The big question is, how can we avoid falling into the trap of judgment and negativity? How can we become the better version of ourselves that God intended? The first step is self-reflection. Instead of focusing on what's wrong with others, take a moment to look inside yourself. We all have our struggles, flaws, and weaknesses. And when we focus on our own growth, we become more understanding of others. We can ask ourselves, what can I learn from this situation? How can I respond with kindness instead of judgment? This simple shift in mindset can change the way we see the world and the people around us. Next, practice empathy. Empathy means putting yourself in someone else's shoes, trying to understand their feelings and struggles instead of immediately pointing out their mistakes. Remember, everyone has their battles. We may not know what someone is going through, but we can choose to show compassion and offer help instead of criticism. When we respond with empathy, we're not just lifting others up, we're also becoming more connected to them. Then, focus on forgiveness. Judging others often comes from a place of hurt or frustration. But holding on to those feelings only drags us down. Choosing to forgive, whether it's forgiving ourselves or others, frees us from the weight of anger and judgment. Forgiveness allows us to heal, grow, and move forward without carrying the burden of negativity. Finally, make a choice every day to live with intention. Set your heart and mind on becoming the person God intended for you to be. Make it a point to treat others with respect, kindness, and love. Look for the good in people rather than their flaws. Focus on building yourself up through positive actions, and avoid getting caught in the trap of judging. By choosing self-reflection, empathy, forgiveness, and intentional living, we can avoid the pitfalls of judgment and become the best versions of ourselves. And as we do, we'll see how God's vision for us, of peace, love, and unity, becomes a reality in our own lives. The journey isn't always easy, but it's worth it. And with every step we take, we grow closer to becoming the people we were always meant to be. Thank you for joining us on this journey through timeless stories and powerful lessons. The story doesn't end here. There's always more to explore. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to BibleTales, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a story. Let's share these lessons with the world. Leave a comment below to tell us what this story meant to you, and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. See you next time on BibleTales, the stories that shape the world, told like never before.